Good morning, my Facebook friends. You know, we always want the big things, but I'm a guy with all my education and stuff like that. I want to be I've been a community guy, and I want to continue to be a community guy, right? And last year, I think around June of last year, the president of the Virginia County Association of Americas asked me to appoint me to be chairman of the Library Fundraiser Committee, Library Fundraiser Committee of the Virginia County Association of America. That project started, I think, 4 years ago, and we need $15,000 to complete the project. And since last year to this time, out of the whole organization, the organization that was established 2001, 19 years ago, only about 14 members have paid their $100 contribution each towards the completion of the first ever public library in the county. Well, you know, the thing there is one thing that makes me to feel discouraged at times is if you have a county, right, you have county administrators, you have senators, you have representatives. You have these districts, I think 10 administrative districts. Somebody asked me a very important question. Conway, yes. Why aren't the county authority building libraries across the across the county? Why aren't they doing it? Is there a plan, a plan, county plan, and a district plans that tell you, and it tells you that what are the activities that the district, what are the development plans, the districts and towns and chiefdoms are in place? But the thing that is, if our county officials are not doing this, or the country as a whole, there's no public library in Liberia. There's no public library in Liberia. Anybody can prove me wrong. There's no public library, just a little small library or somewhere on, which street is that? Somewhere around EJ Raw area there, and somebody get one small, a little small library. But in most part of the country, there are a public library. You see, I have not seen any public library. For the almost 12, 13 years I stayed in Morovia. I stayed in Zwedru, most of Zwedru, Grand Gila County. I live in Maryland where I was born and grew up. I have not seen a public library there. I have not. I have not. So the president appointed me to be chairman of the committee. The committee is made out of Jerome Cone, Martha Freeman, and Richard Hipper, 4%. After almost 1.5 years, only 12 members or 13 members that I can remember right now pay $100 or more. Bush Tarter, the vice president of our organization, is the highest donor. Refugee citizens have become so inactive. And this is not just refugee citizens, Liberians as a whole. Criticize all the time our community organizations, but we never want to get involved when it comes to paying money. We have gotten used to the thing that I don't want to be part of that Liberian thing. I don't want to be part of that refugee thing. My child go to a white school. I live in a white community. You know, sometimes I laugh as Liberian. I went to school and I'm well educated, like most of you. Sometimes I speak English. White men doesn't even understand me. But we say we don't want to be part of that Liberian thing. We don't want to be part of that Liberian thing. We don't want to contribute towards our. Even we calling people from our county, people respect a lot. Say, oh, these people, you go back in the own country, you go back to Regina, you have some people name. Oh, this person. You call them to contribute to help. Where you think, people who you think going to help you to get this thing done, they are nowhere around to be seen. And my greatest disappointment in this capacity that this Isaiah has given me is the failure of people who have been in leadership before. The failure of those people to pay their $100 contribution towards the completion of the first ever public library in that county is disappointing. I was talking to Mr. Quitty the other day. Mr. Quitty and myself always talk, you know. I like Mr. Quitty. He's frank. He shoots straight at time. He and myself, we argue over some things. We have different viewpoints. I told Mr. Quitty, I said, look, Mr. Quitty, let me tell you, being former president of Virginia County Association in America, I'm disappointed in you. After 1.5 years, I call you and tell you about the project. To pay your $100, you have not yet paid. And anytime I call you, you get all the excuses. You want to make peace with people who, since I joined the Virginia Association in 2009, right? You get people who are always bringing conflict all the time. You want to bring peace to the organization. They want to bring peace to the organization before we can do anything. That's a waste of time. I always told all the people who that you want to bring peace to the Virginia Association, people who don't agree with the current organization position. They didn't agree with Mr. Nangbe. Even Mr. Quitty himself, people didn't agree with him. They didn't agree with Alice. They didn't agree with Mr. Nangbe. And they would not agree with this. If people want to go their separate way, let them go. After 5-6 years of talking to the same people, look, Jeremy, our county is, we don't have a lot of people. Even if we have a lot of people, there are very few people who are committed citizens or committed members that are willing to contribute towards anything we're doing. If this group of people don't want to be part, which of course they have not been paying any money to the organization anyway. If they want to go and form another Virginia County Association in America, independent Virginia County Association in America, let them go. Let them go. It might sound harsh, but that's the situation. What can you do about it? You can't do nothing about it. But let me come back to the issue. After 1.5 years that we have been make phone calls, we make YouTube videos, we send text messages, the committee now. We call members, we text them, look, can you pay your $100 so we can? People are not paying. Bush started $250. I can remember most of the people. If I don't remember any, please, I just forgot. Isaac told $100. Mrs. told $100. Conway, $100. Mrs. Conway, $100. Mrs. Freeman, $100. Mr. Freeman, $100. Musa Kroma, $100. Sarah Trinky, $100. Louis Bodia, $100. David Wilson, $100. And Dexter Tipos pledged $200, pay $100. And one or two, the president's friend from Cameroon pledged $100 and pay $100. And there are one or two persons there, I can't just remember off here right now, that contributed. These are the only people that have contributed towards the initiative to raise the $15,000. This is disappointing to the highest level for anybody. So, sometimes I sit down to myself, I said, look, maybe Conway, you are the one that doing it. Maybe your face is so hard. They need to bring in some kind of young, girl who can appeal to the people. They might pay their money to complete that library project in Fishtown, River G County. Maybe it is me. Maybe it is me. But the problem there is, I was telling, I think it was Mr. Namba myself, we were talking something, and in passing I said, look, people should learn to love the organization. And when you love the organization, you will support the leader, no matter who the leader is. No matter who the leader is, you will support the leader. But if I don't like Conway, I don't like Isaac, and big names here are counted, doctors, lawyers, radio stars. These people are so inactive when it comes to contributing towards the county. That's why I told, on my local chapter level, I told my leaders, I said, don't worry about the amount of people you got. If you get 2 or 3 people who are willing, committed members, who are willing to sacrifice and work with you, go with them. Sometimes getting 1,000 people, it doesn't matter because not all the 1,000 people are going to contribute. And the same thing happened within the Librarian Association. With the Librarian Association of Pennsylvania, people only get involved when it's election time. come to elect Conway because Conway is my brother, my friend. As soon elections are over, you don't see those people. They don't pay meeting due. $5 meeting due, $5 meeting due per month. People don't pay. Every Liberian in the United States is able to pay $10 a month as meeting due. Every Liberian. But these people don't do it, and they criticize. They want to get financial report. They want to get this one. They want to say, you're supposed to have done this one. And they tell you all the things you're supposed to have done. But let me tell you this thing. Our country leaders got to change the way they're doing things. If people can't be involved in the local community organizations, I'm not just saying like my refugee, but if you live in Claratown, where I used to live before, you got to be part of, because power is at the local level. You from Painesville community or West Point community, are you part of the community organization? Are you going to community meeting? Are you identifying problems in the community and suggesting solutions to your leadership, and know who your leadership are, and helping them, and you know, this is where these are the places power. In the United States, they say local government. They say they are living in the Smyrna. That's a small city, but it's effective. The local government is effective. Community-based organizations are effective. They're effective organizations. So Liberians in the state, most of them, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of Liberians who contribute when it comes to things. But the bulk of them, this is something, I don't want to be involved with a Liberian thing. You know, it makes me laugh most of the time. You know, because I live in a community too that is like black, white, and but I like to be part of my community, because being part of the community, it makes you hefty. People, when you are from the same area, you can relate to them. You know, you can get American friends and Russian friends, but your community is where you belong. You got to support them. I serve an election worker in the state of Delaware. 3 different elections now. The last one I said I didn't want to go. I was tired, because you got to be there from 6 in the morning to all the way 8 p.m. for the election. The last election we had, it was some very long elections. I still on my feet until my feet were tired. I was 52 years old, so I didn't go. But I'll go in November. And I met this Liberian guy, and I said, I just moved to the Smyrna community. Do they have a Liberian-based organization? I think they have one, but, I don't want to be part of that. I'm not part of that Liberian thing, Speaking of real Liberian English, that thing I don't want to be part of. That Liberian thing. Right. I said, right. Liberian getting so foolish to the extent that, I go to a white church. I'm the only black, my child is the only black child in our school. You know the situation your child faces in that class room when you're not there? Do you know why black people live together in cities in the United States? You know the history? Do you know that certain time black people used to go to churches? You know that they used to be this back on the bus? Because they come together and live together for protection. If you don't know that, you sound stupid when you talk about your child is the only child in a white school. You go to a white church. You are only black man in a white community. Liberian men at that rate. Come on now. But let me come back. Look, we refugee citizens, we gotta be strong. Our country is one of the least developed counties. We gotta be strong. Let's pay $100. Leaders, especially those of you who be in leadership, are looking up to you to pay your $100. Just start paying your money. I'm getting frustrated, and you guys need to start helping us out. Thank you very much. Please pay your $100. I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.